in Oklahoma. Thank you, Pittsburgh. I appreciate that. As long as you guys are down for freedom and you're down for America. I'm a big supporter of America. I support this country. I'm about freedom. I'm about liberty. I'm about your right to be free. Detroit's in the house. Texas is in the house. If you don't notice, this is the flag that was draped over my grandfather's casket in 2021 because he was in the Navy. I almost joined the Navy as well. The only reason I didn't is because we were in a oil war back then. 550 people in the room, guys. 550 people just right now. Watching from North Carolina. This is my giant step repeater that I teach on. I go to cities and states all over America and I teach this to inner city youth who gets a bullshit version of history. So that's why I have this giant step and repeater. And then right over here, we're gonna get into your freedom amendments now. You guys can get a copy of my digital poster on deletelaws.com with a Z. You can also go to my YouTube page, Delete Laws, where I have 100 hours of lectures on delete laws with a Z. Delete laws with the Z. Thank you guys so much. So now what you're looking at right here is you're looking at your Freedom Amendment here, which is your Fourth Amendment, which is freedom standards. The freedom standards of the first 10 civil liberties. The difference between civil liberties and civil rights is what? Anybody? Can anybody tell me what the difference between civil liberties and civil rights are? I would love to come to Pittsburgh. Yeah, you guys let me know if you want me to come to your what's that? Hey, Top Miller, you're more than welcome to send me a DM. Top Hyman Miller, you're more than welcome to send me a DM. I don't want to get into drama on this. I want to teach history. I'll come to Orlando. You guys let me know where you want me to come. Do you want me to come to your city and state? I literally bought a van and I take this step repeater and I travel all over the country teaching the history of our country. I mean, this is what I do for a living and I'm not going to stop under any circumstances. Under any circumstances. No how, no way. I'm never going to stop teaching. Okay, I'll never stop. I give you my word, I'll never stop. So I would love to come to Orlando. Send me an invitation. Would love to. Let me know if you got a couch for me. I sleep in my van, but I'll stay at someone's house if I can trust you. I never know. I'm on my way to Florida to serve someone with legal papers, actually. I'm on my way to Florida to serve someone with legal papers, so I will be in Florida. I will be in Florida to serve legal papers. I'm currently in the desert in Arizona. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm currently in the middle of nowhere in Arizona. Thank you so much for the support, Shop. I appreciate that. So let's talk about your freedom standards here. Your freedom standards of the Fourth Amendment. Does anybody know what the Fourth Amendment is? Does anybody know what the Fourth Amendment is? Can anybody tell me what the Fourth Amendment is, okay? Oh gosh, that was awful. Anybody know what the Fourth Amendment is? What does it start off with? Anybody go ahead, type it down in there. Does anybody know what the Fourth Amendment, which I have up here just for real simple freedom standards for you guys, but why do I have that right here? I would love to. Send me a friend request, guys, if you want me to come by your city or state. I'll add you. Send me a friend request if you want me to come to your city and state. I'm traveling right now. Anybody in Arkansas? I'm going to Arkansas next. Anybody in Arkansas? If anybody's in Arkansas, I'm heading to Arkansas. That's my next stop is Arkansas, Texas. I'm going to be in Texas this next month. I'll be in Minnesota. I'm going all through the country right now. Anybody from Arkansas? If anybody's from Arkansas, so now let's get into the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment here, it's your freedom standard. And what does it start off by saying? What does the Fourth Amendment start off by saying? The Fourth Amendment is the right of the people. Have you guys ever heard that before? Has anybody ever taught you that the Fourth Amendment is the right of the people? Have you guys ever heard that before? There it is. Someone's got it. I'm following you right now. I just followed you. Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So it starts off, and I broke it down into chunks for you guys. so that you guys can truly understand what the Fourth Amendment is. Sorry about my camera getting wavy there. I followed someone real quick, and so my camera got a little wavy. So the Fourth Amendment is the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures, and that shall not be violated. So what does that mean exactly when it says to be secure in your person, houses, papers, and effects shall not be violated? What does that mean specifically? That means that people cannot run up and grab you based on their fear of you. Do you follow? That's what that means. The cops or the government cannot run up and grab you based on their suspicion of you. Do we all agree on that? Does anybody disagree? Someone type down there, yes, I agree that the cops cannot grab you. No, I don't agree the cops can grab you, right? So this is your right to be secure in your person, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. Does anybody agree with that? That you should be able to be free? That you should be able to walk around free as long as you're not hurting other people? right? And so then as we continue down, it says, and no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation. So this says that now, so that number one, you have the right to be free. And then number two, that no warrant can issue unless you have a victim who's swearing an oath that you hurt them. That's what this says. I mean, this is just the Fourth Amendment written back in 1776, ratified, right? So this is a ratified amendment. So this means that you're supposed to be able to be secure in your person, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. And what does that mean exactly? What does that mean exactly? That no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation. Thank you, Julie, for the support. This is what I do for a living. Okay, and then it says right here, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized. This is why I have this on your digital poster that you can print out at FedEx Office or Office Max for 20 bucks. It's free. I mean, you can just go down there and print it out. Please say black people, sir. The black people get offended when you say blacks. So please say black people. I'm trying to make sure that I don't offend anybody with my words. So, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I can't say your username, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. You guys can get my digital poster. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that, Dan Hopper. I had to adjust too, man. People called me racist for saying black people, for saying blacks, because that's what's written in history books, which, as you can tell, I've done a lot of reading. Okay? So then, now this says to be secure in your person's house, papers, and then no warrant shall issue unless that's supported by oath or affirmation. And then right here, and particularly describing the place or person to be searched or seized. Okay? Thank you so much. Stay tuned. I appreciate that. So now what this says, so these things, is anybody confused on the Fourth Amendment? Oh, thanks, Don. Hey, listen, Don, they'll be mad at you for saying it too, bro. I was hit with cancel culture. That's why I'm always raising funds, because I was hit with cancel culture so bad. I know it, right? You can say whites, but you can't say white people, right? It's so crazy. But anyway, I don't want to get into the racist crap. I just want to stay focused on history here, okay? So, okay, I don't want to get into it, guys. I don't want to get into it. Please, let's just move on with history. Let me teach you guys history. I literally get shaky because I don't want to offend people and I don't want to get into garbage. So now right here, so we have all these rights, right? So let's just break this one down first, and I got a whole car pulled apart with no warrant. Oh, you know why that happened to you, Victoria? Do you know why that happened to you? And so now this jumps right, what Victoria just said is she got pulled over and her whole car got pulled apart. So this is your Fourth Amendment right, and we went over that pretty clearly. Right? And so then right here, Victoria said she just got pulled over and her whole car got torn apart, and that's because the 1925 case completely and utterly decimates the Fourth Amendment. It decimates the Fourth Amendment. Victoria, the reason why you got pulled over and your car got searched is because in 1925, based on an Oklahoma prohibition law from alcohol being criminalized in 1920 with a mandate, by the way, fight mandates with your heart and soul. So then the 1925 Exigent Circumstances Clause creates the automobile exclusionary rule. And so Victoria, the reason why the police can search your car without a warrant and you can say, no, I do not agree to searches and seizures, is because of the 1925 case of Carroll versus the United States, which creates this box down here. I should have a piece of tape going from here to here. And so if the police say that they're afraid there's going to be a loss of life, if they say that they're in hot pursuit of you, or they feel they need to seize evidence out of your car that they don't know is there or not, they can search your car without a warrant. Victoria, this is the reason why your car was searched, just so you know. It was the 1925 case of Carroll versus the United States. Thank you, moderators. I appreciate you keeping the room clean. Thank you so much. Right, and it doesn't matter. They can seize your car and then you got to pay for it to get out. You got to pay to get yourself out of court. So I read the Fourth Amendment to you guys. It was pretty clear, right? You have the right to be secure in your person, houses, papers, and effects. Well, Terry v. Ohio, which is an extension of what? What's Terry v. Ohio an extension of? It's an extension of Carroll versus the United States. Are we starting to put things together now here? Are you starting to understand? Carroll versus the United States ends your right of your Bill of Rights. So if the cops say these things about you, then they can circumvent your Bill of Rights. That's why we have a Bill of Rights that should not be circumvented. That's why we have it. We have it against the government. Well, who's saying that they're in hot pursuit of you? The government. So that goes around your Bill of Rights. Who's saying that they need to seize evidence off of you? The government. And so it goes around your Bill of Rights. Who's saying that they're afraid there's going to be a loss of life? The government. And so they strip your Bill of Rights completely down to zero. Okay. Actually, there's not American Wild Films. There's not. I'm afraid you're mistaken. I'm afraid you're mistaken. There's not lots. There's specific cases. So then Carroll versus the United States is going to extend into the well, first it's going to go into Brinegar versus the United States of 1949, right here where they can, so remember we said secure in your person, houses, papers, and effects? Your car is your effect, your house is something else. So now Carroll versus the United States is going to extend into Brinegar, where Brinegar is in his car, and then they search his car using the Carroll doctrine. And then the Kerrs are in their car, they go home, and so the cops just go into their house. And then in Terry versus Ohio, John Terry is standing on the street downtown Cleveland, Ohio on Halloween Day, 1963, right here. And the cop, Martin McFadden, says, the circumstances are exigent. We got a black guy hanging out downtown Cleveland. He should have known better. Black people can't hang around downtown Cleveland. And by the way, when I say downtown Cleveland today, I'm talking about New York City level of Cleveland in 1963. Downtown Cleveland was like the metropolis of the world in 1963. New York City didn't have a damn thing on Cleveland in 1963. Downtown Cleveland on Euclid Avenue. If you guys have not seen my YouTube page, the 3 episodes of Overturned Terry that go into great detail about what happened to John Terry, he was a man who was cheated. Okay? You see how this guy just came in here, the Unitas one, he's just still at it, racist? I'm literally teaching how John Terry was cheated because of the color of his skin. And this person comes in here who doesn't watch any of my videos. His name is the Unitas. Oh, he just got blocked by a moderator. So I'm literally teaching you guys how the racist system created was based on racism. And that idiot comes in here and calls me a racist. How absolutely crazy. Do you see what I'm dealing with? Do you see what I'm dealing with? I'm gonna keep going on the lecture. So in 1963, he's downtown Cleveland. Well, just so you know, in 1963, black people are freed in 1954. You're not allowed to hang around downtown Cleveland if you're black. You're not allowed to hang around. You gotta get the heck out. You're not allowed to hang around downtown Cleveland. Martin McFadden has been a cop since 1924. What's going on in 1924? Lynchings and murders. Black codes are being enforced from 1924 all the way till 1954. And so when John Terry's hanging around Euclid Avenue, downtown Cleveland, Martin McFadden sees him and says, I don't like how he looks. Well, of course he doesn't like how he looks. Number one, he's black, and you're not allowed to hang around downtown Cleveland if you're black. And number two, he's mentally ill. The facial structure of mentally ill people has muscular dystrophy in it. I'm thinking that's not the proper terminology. Muscular, I can't pronounce it. Anyway, he has muscular distortion in his face from people who are mentally ill. You know this is a fact. So when Martin McFadden sees him, who's been a cop since 1924 and 1963, almost 40 years later, what does he say? I don't like how he looks. Why doesn't he like how he looks? Because he's a racist. I hate to tell you this, but this is the fact of history. Don't be upset with me for teaching you the facts. Okay? Okay? Do you follow what I'm saying to you? It's based on racism. God bless America. I hate to tell you that. It's based on racism. I'm trying not to use bad language. I get upset, all right? So I literally sit here and teach that our country's foundation is broken because of the judiciary that's racist and because of racist policing, and people come in my room and call me a racist. The hell's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? Listen to the content I'm teaching. Ooh, I'm pissed off. Okay, it's fine. So then right here in 1963, as soon as this happens, John Terry is taken to prison. He grabs him illegally. He runs up and grabs him. What does we say? The circumstances are exigent. John Terry being downtown presents a loss of life. I need to seize evidence off of him. And the only reason he can run up and grab him is because of the Carroll Doctrine. So the Carroll Doctrine is then going to extend into Terry versus Ohio, where they're going to put officer safety over a freedom, over all your rights. And this is passed by a white supremacist. This is passed by a white supremacist. And people will say, oh, Earl Warren passed Brown versus Board of Education in 1954. Earl Warren passed Brown versus Board of Education that caused desegregation in 1954. Well, why did he do that? Why did he do that? How come he did that? Why did Earl Warren pass Brown versus Board of Education that desegregated America in 1954? Okay? I can't get into the trolls, guys. I can't get into the trolls. I can't get into the trolls. I got to stay focused here. I can't get into you trolls. Don't distract me, okay? I don't need it. I just don't need it. I just don't need it. I got to stay focused on history here. So now, when I say that Earl Warren was a white supremacist, why do I say that? Well, after all, he did pass Brown versus Board of Education in 1954 that desegregated America. How come I say that? The reason why I say that is because he didn't pass Brown versus Board of Education because he was some great humanitarian. He'd been a Freemason, for the head of the Freemasons for 5 years. He'd been the Attorney General of California. He'd been the governor of California. I know the history of his life inside and out, but I want to give you guys the quick version here so you guys can learn history. So what happens here in 1954 when he passes Brown versus Board of Education, he doesn't do that because he's humanitarian. Hell no. He does that because in 1942, he goes and sits with Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and in 1942, he says that we should lock up 100,000 Japanese people because they're Japanese. And as you know, we're in World War II from 1939 till 1945. 1939 to 1945 is World War II. And so then what happens here is when he advises to Franklin Delano Roosevelt to lock up 100,000 Japanese people, Franklin Delano Roosevelt says, okay, let's do it. We create concentration camps in Grand Central Park in New York City. We create concentration camps all across America under FDR's leadership, which he's being advised by Earl Warren. And so then in 1954, what's going on in America? What's going on in America right here? The civil rights movement is bursting. Black people want to be free and white people want them to be free. The majority of white people are done with it. They're done with it. They do not want segregation any longer. As a matter of fact, in 1948, the military desegregates. And so white people are done with it and black people are done with it. And we know this because Willie Brewster is shot in the back and conservative Dr. T.C. Donald puts his name in the paper with 200 other white conservatives in Alabama and say, hey, KKK, we're done with your lynchings. We're done with it. And this is the last man who was officially murdered by the KKK in Alabama, just so you know. Now, a few other people are killed, of course, because history isn't going to write the truth. They're going to write the lies. And so then when Willie Brewster is murdered by a member of the KKK, Darren Strange, a conservative named Dr. T.C. Donald puts his name in the paper. And so now what happens here is the white people who are conservatives across the South, they're sick of this shit. They're sick of watching black people be murdered for no reason. And so then in 1954, as soon as he gets an opportunity to, Earl Warren passes Brown versus Board of Education that desegregates America. And why? Because we can't lock up the millions of black people here like we did the Japanese people. And he doesn't know what they're saying in schools, in bars, in restaurants, in clubs, in hospitals. He doesn't know what the sentiment of black people is because we've segregated black people from the country. We put them in their own little space, and he doesn't know what's going on, and he has to control everything and everybody. Piece of garbage. Notice I didn't say garbage men because garbage men work hard for their money. And so then he desegregates America in 1954 using Brown versus Board of Education. Here, forgive me, I'm sorry. And then right there, and then he meets with Lyndon Johnson on April 5th, the day after MLK Jr. is assassinated, and they conjure up Terry versus Ohio. Okay? Okay? That's how we got here. We got here based on racism. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My skin color's light. I don't like to say these things. I don't like to say these things. Please, you guys, show some support. Go by my website, Delete Laws. Pick up my digital poster or my ebook. If you can't afford the $20, contact me through my website. I'll give it to you for free. Take a screenshot, please, if you would. If you learned absolutely anything from me, yeah, Biden is a racist all the way. Biden is racist all the way. If you didn't know that, you don't know his history. If you don't know Biden's history, go to my YouTube channel, Delete Laws, and watch Power Corrupts Absolutely. Watch. It's pretty much a Biden-Nixon show. A Biden-Nixon-Reagan show. Go by my YouTube page, Delete Laws, and watch Power Corrupts Absolutely. It's a 30-minute documentary that I made so that you guys would learn how racist our leadership has been. And I'm sorry to say that. Don't hold it against me. Okay? Okay? That's right. I already said that earlier. So then this is my cup of coffee fund. If you guys learned anything from me, please go by and pick me up a cup of coffee. It's only $2. I'm not trying to get rich off anybody here, and I'm not rich. I was overdrafted just last month because of cancel culture. So please, you guys, go by my Cash App right here, cup of coffee. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And here's my cup of coffee fund. If you would take a screenshot, please. Take a screenshot, please. If you buy me a cup of coffee, it makes my life go so I can continue to teach history. I am traveling through the South. My next stop is Arkansas. Anybody in Arkansas? Send me a DM, add me. Anybody from Arkansas, send me a DM or add me. Send me a DM or add me if you're from Arkansas. I'm heading to Arkansas next. I'll be in Arkansas. I'm heading to Arkansas. Right now I'm in the Midwest here. I'm in the middle of nowhere right now. This is my website, Delete Laws. This is also my YouTube page. Thank you for this. Someone sent me a whipped cup of coffee here on this app right here. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. I super appreciate it. If you guys ever don't see me on, it's because my account's been suspended. If you guys ever don't see me on, it's because my account has been suspended. If you guys ever don't see me, Indiana, I would love to come to Indiana. Let me know if you got a spot there for me. I sleep in my minivan all the time. We have to create a constitutional amendment is what we have to do. We have to overturn Terry versus Ohio. That's the first step. That's the first step. So this is my website, Delete Laws with a Z. This is also my YouTube page. Currently I'm in the desert in Arizona in the middle of nowhere. I came out here so I could practice my gun shooting and practice and get in great shape. I'm doing wind sprints every day. Wind sprints, push-ups, pull-ups, wind sprint, pull-ups, push-ups. God bless you then, sir. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you guys for coming. I do appreciate it. All right, let me know, South Carolina. Let me know, I'll follow you right back. I'm traveling across the country. Let me know what city, state, and town you're in. I'll come to your place. I'll go to a park. I will set up my step and repeater, and I will teach history where you are. Just need a place to stay. I got my minivan. I can sleep in my minivan. I just need a place to stay. I'm traveling all through the South. I'm heading to Florida. I'm heading to Florida to serve some paperwork. I'm heading up to Virginia to serve some paperwork. I'm gonna serve these things. I'm gonna make sure that these things are served. I'm coming to Virginia. I'm coming there to serve some paperwork. I will be in Virginia. Atlanta, I've only been to Atlanta once. Would love to come to Atlanta. I lived in Houston for a while. I used to work at La Bear in Houston 20 years ago. Texas, where are you guys at? Where's everybody at? Type in here where you guys are from so I know where everybody is. Type in here where you guys are from. Are we at 100,000 likes yet? Oh my God, we're only 1,000 likes away from 100,000 likes. 500 people in the room. If everybody taps 5 times right now, we will go over 100,000 likes. We will go over 100,000 likes if everybody taps on their screen 5 or 10 times right now real quick. Everybody tap on your screen 5 or 10 times. Let's jump over that 100,000 mark real quick. Everybody tap on your screen. Let's go over 100,000 real quick. Let's just fly over 100,000. That's amazing. Oregon, my sister lives up in Oregon. I went to college in Portland. We just cracked 100,000 for the first time today. That's amazing. I'm doing civil litigation against a few people. I've already filled out the lawsuits. I'm doing some civil litigation. So by the way, due process of the law right here, okay? You have a right to due process. Civil litigation is not criminal litigation. If you call the police on someone, just remember, you could be killing that person. Civil litigation is due process. That is not calling the police on someone. Okay, just so you guys know. The difference between civil litigation and calling the police on someone, oh, thank you so much, I appreciate that. Let me follow you right back. I'll follow you right back. Thank you so much for that. I don't mind following anybody at all. I absolutely love following people who support. The truth will never die. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. I do appreciate it. For some reason, people on the left and the right have some sort of I don't understand what's going on, but I do understand that when you teach the unedited history of the United States, then what happens is people, thank you for the support, Mitchell. Thank you for the support, Ken. Thank you for the support, Con. I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. So we talked about your Fourth Amendment. Does anybody remember what we just talked about the Fourth Amendment? Are the people still here? Are the people still here who taught about the Fourth Amendment? So what does it say? You have the right, oh yeah, it's on my, oh yeah, go to Delete Laws YouTube page. Oh my God. If you guys have not seen that on Delete Laws, it's on my Delete Laws YouTube page right there. Go to Delete Laws on YouTube. That's with a Z, and watch Power Corrupts Absolutely. It's a 30-minute documentary that I put on YouTube. You may think the stuff on YouTube, I mean, my YouTube page is all education. I do a couple police audits, but if you go to my YouTube page, Delete Laws, there's 100 hours of lectures on the law. Do you understand that? 100 hours of lectures on the law. 100 hours. Thank you for the support, Serena. Thank you, Serena. I do appreciate it. This is what I do for a living, so I do appreciate your support. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks, Con. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. So we went over the Fourth Amendment. What is the basic rights of the Fourth Amendment, right? The basic is the right to be secure in your person, houses, papers, and effects. So let's go over that. Your person is you, your house is where you live, your papers are your briefcase, your effects are your car, your dog, your motorcycle, your effects, okay? So you have this basic fundamental right of the Fourth Amendment, all right? I'm just going over it again in case the room turned over, and I wanna make sure everybody has an opportunity to learn. So now right here, Terry v. Ohio, now we lose your right to be free in your car in 1925. You can't be in your car. If you're in your car, then your car can roll away, so that's exigent circumstances, and the government strips away your right to be free. And so then after Carroll, it extends to Brinegar, it extends to Kerr, but then it goes into Terry. And Terry is based on a black man being downtown and a racist seeing him saying, I'm gonna grab him. And then the Supreme Court, led by Earl Warren, says, oh yeah, cops can grab people. Cops can grab people for their safety, which by the way, if you haven't seen the Overturn Terry episodes on the YouTube page, there's 3 episodes of Overturn Terry on the YouTube page. I go into great detail about Earl Warren. I go into great detail. I don't want to get lost here. There it was, suspended. There it was. Hopefully my